I cannot overstate how great the story of Half-Life 2 really is. 20 years after the Black Mesa incident, Gordon Freeman is awoken to a world that is familiar, but also not. It's Earth alright, but it's in a very dire state. After a conflict known as the 7-Hour War, an alien race known as the Combine has taken complete control over humanity and drained the planet of all its resources. Things are very bleak, but throughout the game, you and your allies manage to take back the streets of City 17, and after a confrontation with the antagonist Dr. Wallace Spreen, the game ends with the destruction of the Citadel. Episode 1 doesn't have much in terms of plot, since it's mostly just you and Alex escaping from City 17, but during one scene inside the Citadel, Alex discovers a transmission from Mossman, and in that transmission, she says she's in search for something. In episode 2, that something would turn out to be the long-lost ship called the Borealis, a research vessel from Aperture Science that mysteriously disappeared one day, now rediscovered at an Arctic location. Kleiner is interested in the Borealis, thinking they can use it against the Combine. Eli, however, is adamant that the Borealis must be destroyed at all cost out of fear of the Combine using it. The game ends with Gordon and Alex ready to board a helicopter where they would be heading to the Arctic, with Eli seeing them off. But just when they were about to leave, two Combine advisors suddenly ambush the three. Knowing that he was about to die, Eli tells Gordon and Alex to destroy the Borealis, whatever it takes. Right in front of his daughter's eyes, Eli is then killed. The two advisors are then chased off by Dog, and the final scene we get is of Alex hugging and crying over her dad's corpse, ending the game on a somber note and setting us up for the next Half-Life game, one that could very well bring a satisfying conclusion. Except, we didn't get a conclusion. Many years went by, and with no episode 3 in sight, some fans began to wonder if there will even be another game. Others would continue to hold out though, and who can blame them? Gabe Newell, the god of PC gaming, the Lord himself, said that they were still working on episode 3, so surely they were just taking their time, right? They couldn't just abandon the series with this being the last scene, right? Well, when Mark Laidlaw posted his plot synopsis of episode 3 on his blog called Epistle 3, it was clear. Any optimism people had for the conclusion of this series faded away. All those years waiting was for nothing. Episode 3 was cancelled. Kind of. It wasn't officially confirmed, and Half-Life Alyx might have brought back some hype for Half-Life 3, but I haven't played it yet, so... Still, whatever the case is, it doesn't change the fact that we're still waiting on some sort of follow-up for Episode 2. And with Valve being tight-lipped about their games like always, except for Deadlock for some reason, it's only natural that fans will get desperate. Whatever leak that came out about the next Half-Life game, fans would huff that hopium and take it as a sign that Half-Life 3 was still happening. And yes, that includes the fake leaks as well, which will be the topic of today's video. Before Mark Laidlaw posted Epistle 3, you would occasionally come across a quote-unquote leak from a random user claiming it was Half-Life 3 or Episode 3, and these leaks range from looking pretty convincing to laughably bad. The reason for these fake leaks is obvious. It's to just mess with people. It doesn't matter how cheap your trailer looks, as long as people are clicking on it and thinking it's real, well, you've done your job. Nowadays, people have become more aware of fake leaks, even more so since Valve seems to have an allergy to the number 3. However, there is something weirdly nostalgic about these old fake leaks. Like, yeah, they all fooled us and gave us false hope that Half-Life 3 was happening, but you can't deny that there's a charm to them. It's a pretty jank charm, but a charm nonetheless. So with rumors of another Half-Life game being in the works, let us go back in time, before Mark Laidlaw posted Epistle 3, as we take a closer look at the many fake leaks of Half-Life 3. The first video we're gonna look at was uploaded by Akai Toy Loco called Half-Life 2 TM Episode 3 TM Official Trailer. Oh, and as a heads up, we're gonna be seeing a lot of these fake trailers. This was uploaded on January 28th, 2011, and the main reason I wanted to bring this up specifically was because I actually got fooled by this video. Not sure how, but I did. Anyways, the video starts off with a shot of the helicopter flying over the Arctic before it begins crashing down. Somehow. We then get a few gameplay snippets, and admittedly, on first glance, this looks convincing. Yeah, some things stick out, like the obviously reskinned Hunters and Striders, but I can see this video fooling some people. Until we get to the end. For no reason at all, the trailer transitions to a scene of a nuke going off at GM Flatgrass, which I assume kills Alex. G-Man then appears, saying a line that was obviously reused from Half-Life 2.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
We get some shots of the Outlands from Episode 2, and then the trailer ends. What? Okay, ignoring the whole ending bit there, the first few moments of this trailer, I could see genuinely tricking some people into thinking this is a real trailer from Episode 3. Hell, it did fool me when I first watched it. On my second watch though, I realized it was fake because... well, come on, look at this shot. This is so bad. Alright, next video. Here we have the video Half-Life 2 Episode 3 Gameplay, uploaded on September 13th, 2009 by the user Haunts. The description for this video is kind of hilarious. Gameplay for the game Half-Life 2 Episode 3 coming in 2010, hopefully sooner. Anyways, this video that runs at 5 frames per second shows the player supposedly playing through the events of Episode 3. It starts with them standing outside the Borealis, then it transitions to them outside the helicopter. Okay. Then it transitions back to them being inside the Borealis, before then cutting to them flying the helicopter, then back to the Borealis. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling this video is all over the place. You might have noticed that this gameplay looks rough, like really rough, and I'm not referring to the frame rate. Although it does bear mentioning too, like seriously, why is it so low? No, I'm referring to what's happening on screen. This isn't something Valve would make. You might can chalk this up to it simply being footage of the game in its alpha stage, but nope, this is all fan-made. More specifically, this is actually a series of fan-made maps showing what Episode 3 might have looked like. I mean, it isn't close, but there was an attempt. The creator of this video simply took this map pack, recorded gameplay footage of them playing through it, and uploaded it onto YouTube, pretending that this was real footage of Episode 3. It's important to note that the original creator of this map pack actually never wanted to trick people into thinking these maps were like leaked or whatever. The original upload clearly states that they were fake, but that didn't stop bad actors from using these maps to create their own hoax videos, including this one. The second fake trailer we're gonna be looking at was uploaded on June 28th, 2008 by Splinter FS Killers called Half-Life 2 Episode 3 Primaris Images. I don't know why it's in French, but regardless, the video starts off with the Valve intro and title for Episode 3 before jumping straight into the gameplay. We see part of the transmission from Mossman and gameplay footage of Gordon walking around the Arctic base where she was filming. This looks convincing until you realize that the person who recorded this just no-clipped to this area. So, not really impressive. We then see footage of Gordon running around a nondescript forest using the hopwire from the Half-Life 2 beta. The video ends with the G-Man walking away from the player as they lay there in a white void. This looks kind of cool, but this is literally just the GM Construct White Room. So, yeah. Honestly, this trailer is a whole lot of nothing. At least the last trailer gave me something to point and laugh at. This is mostly just walking. We only get one scene of Gordon at the Arctic, the rest just takes place in some random forest. Though I do question the inclusion of the hop wires. Out of all the weapons to bring back from the beta, why the hop wire? You could have brought back the Tau Cannon, the flare gun, or the OICW, my personal favorite beta weapon. But no, you brought back the hop wire, probably the most boring weapon from the beta. Yay. Moving on. This next video was uploaded on June 23rd, 2011, called Half-Life 3 Download. This video is actually special because it has a separate website attached to it, which we'll definitely be taking a look at. The video shows the uploader, Kill465, going through the process of installing a beta build for Half-Life 3, which they then proceed to boot up. We then get a view of the title screen before it then transitions to a very bizarre trailer. We see the Borealis covered in a piss filter. We see Alex running down a hallway, obviously not stolen by the way. We see a Combine advisor. We see G-Man standing in the darkness. We see Alex dead in the dark room of GM Construct, and we see a Vortigaunt typing at the computer. I mean, what can I say? This is clearly what people wanted. We then get actual gameplay and... what is this weapon? A nuke goes off at City 17 and the trailer ends with an advertisement for the website halflife3beta.com, which is our next stop. Obviously the site is now offline, so we're gonna have to use the Wayback Machine. Interestingly enough, this site has been up for around 3 years and has gone through several changes throughout its lifespan. When the site first went up in 2011, it was pretty basic, only serving as a hub for everything Half-Life 3 related, as well as the download for the highly anticipated Half-Life 3 beta. Clicking on the download though does nothing. However, a year later, the site would change into this. A lot more bare bones, and there's not even a download for the beta. Instead, the site is now a lot more mysterious and cryptic, likely influenced by the Portal 2 ARG. Clicking on the info button says this: help Half-Life 3 to its release. As you can see in left upper corner, we have a final countdown. You can find secrets on the website that will lead into an answer. Mail the answer to findmysecret@halflife3beta.com. We will short the countdown for 1 minute for every correct answer. Good luck out there, Gordon. Pretty neat, but obviously the countdown led to nothing. Clicking on the button that says Gordon reveals what I can only guess is the plot for Half-Life 3. Gordon saw through his own eyes how Eli got trusted by the Combine advisor. In that instant moment, something flipped inside of him. For just a moment, Gordon's head went blank. When he opened his eyes, he was back in the Zen. He asked himself, why am I here? Gordon doesn't speak. That's when the G-Man approached. The G-Man said, it seems as if you've only just arrived. You've done a great deal in a small— Wait a moment, this is literally copied and pasted from G-Man's other speeches. The only thing they added is wake up and feel the cold. Not original at all. Yeah, that's all this site has to offer. Just a shittily put together ARG. The only other thing you can do is right-click on the page, which opens up this message.
Man, a few words, aren't you?
Kind of pointless, but whatever. Surprisingly enough, this site would go through one more change a year later, this time sporting an actual background and a link to the long-awaited download of the Half-Life 3 beta, finally. Clicking on the download button shows us many download options, such as download and install all-in-one converter, download and install Coupon Explorer, watch free sex cams 25-year plus only. If you couldn't tell already, none of these links are the actual download. Instead, the site is offering you to download other programs, likely virus-ridden ones, to distract you from the fact that they don't have a Half-Life 3 beta, wasting your time. In fact, that's essentially what this whole mess is, a waste of time. There's no Half-Life 3 beta, and considering this site has nothing to show, it would go down a year later. Good riddance. Like, on one hand, it's impressive how much effort was put into this, but on the other hand, people were likely getting their PCs infected from these links, all for a beta that doesn't actually exist. So yeah, Half-Life3beta.com. It's a mess. Alright, I know you're getting sick of all the fake trailers in this video, but don't worry, this is the last one. Uploaded on November 15, 2010 by M4 Multiplayer, Half-Life 2 Episode 3 trailer, HD 720, is kind of unhinged. Like, it starts off normally enough, just a few establishing shots of the Arctic and Borealis, but then it transitions to a staticky video of cinematic mod Alex. Oh my god, not again! We then get a scene of a G-bomb's nuke going off inside a bunker with zombies in it, before it then transitions back to fully modeled Alex introducing herself for some reason.
I'm Alex Vance. We better hurry.
Like, bitch, we know who you are. We then get a few gameplay snippets, which is nothing special, just a few hunters, striders, zombies. We get a blurry view of G-Man, then title card. Wow, I mean, the last few trailers had their moments, but they were still somewhat believable. This trailer is just all over the place. I think what really does it for me is just the random appearance of cinematic mod Alex. Like, even if you don't have the context for cinematic mod, which if you don't, then you can watch my video on it right here, would this seriously be the appropriate outfit for the goddamn Arctic? I think the real reason Alex looks like this is obvious. The person who made this was just down bad for her.
Dude, I wanna jerk off! Fuck, I wanna jerk off!
The last video we're gonna be taking a look at is Half-Life 3 Real Footage, uploaded on February 27, 2009 by Thunderbolt321. Ironically enough, despite the title, this video shows zero footage, only screenshots because of course it does. After a Windows Movie Maker intro, we get the following text. Could this really be Half-Life 3? Take a look at the pictures and tell me what you think. The first image we see is some fan-made render of Gordon standing in the middle of a city. Keep this image in mind, we'll be coming back to it. The second image we see is of some headcrabs just sitting around near a tunnel. This is just a photoshopped image of a sewer in Japan. The third image we see is of, a real-life photo of a canal. Dude literally went outside, took a photo, and said this is what Half-Life 3 is gonna look like. Fourth image is also the same story, as it's just a edited photo of a punting station in Cambridge, England. And the final image, while I wasn't able to find the source of it, a higher quality version of it shows the image copyright of Christian Stooley. And looking at his LinkedIn, he has many years of working as a 3D artist and animator in his portfolio. So yeah, none of the quote-unquote screenshots in this video are from Half-Life 3, as they were clearly taken from other sources. However, there is one image in this video that everyone in the Half-Life community is well aware of. That damn image. Out of all the images associated with Half-Life 3 and Episode 3, this one specific image is shared around the most. Whenever people think of fake Half-Life 3 screenshots, the first image they think of is this one. Some people were even convinced that this was a real screenshot and that this was what the next Half-Life game was gonna look like. It's funny because last I checked, Gordon's crowbar wasn't blue. Ignoring the blue crowbar and weird choice for a HUD, this image doesn't really look like it's from a Half-Life game. There's no head crabs, no signs of Combine anywhere, Gordon is just randomly back in a city again for no reason, and in general, this just looks off. So we know it's obviously fake, but like, where did this even come from? What is the origin of this image? Well, I wanted to find out for myself, so I begun doing some searching around, hoping to find an answer, and spoiler alert, I did, but good lord, it was a headache. As it turns out, no one can come to a clear consensus on where this image came from, despite it being shared around everywhere. The earliest mention I found of it was from an IGN thread in 2007, but according to that same thread, the image was in circulation before episode 1 even came out, which makes me question how old this image really is. But none of that really matters because the image was actually photoshopped. Reverse searching the image on TinEye, sorting by oldest, then going to the second page shows us a version of the image without the crowbar or HUD. Sure enough, this is the actual image. Yeah, whoever made the fake Half-Life 3 screenshot just photoshopped a blue crowbar, HUD, Half-Life 3 title, and Valve logo over this image. The original image was first modeled by Duran, then painted over by Chris Thunig, who by the way works at Blizzard Entertainment, so there's a fun fact for you. It was made for the 2004 movie Immortel, the goddamn French again. I attempted to watch this movie for the purpose of this video, but upon realizing how horrifying the CGI is, I quickly gave up on it. But yeah, that one fake Half-Life 3 image that we all saw everywhere back then was actually a reference photo for a 2004 movie that no one has ever heard of before. Who would have thought? Oh, and to give you an idea on how widespread the fake image was, the original art piece only showed up twice on Google reverse search, and only 5 times on TinEye. The rest was for the fake Half-Life 3 image, so yeah. Well, that's everything I wanted to talk about. I am well aware that there are other fake leaks of Half-Life 3 out there, but honestly, I don't want to make another hour-long video. Although I will give shoutouts to the alleged r/Half-Life leak, the many fake Steam sites that had Half-Life 3 on their front page, and the time when Gamescom falsely announced Half-Life 3. Twice. The history of Half-Life 3 up until this point is a very messy one, filled with drama, hoaxes, and of course, leaks, both fake and real. So if you do want to learn more, I'll link this article from PC Gamer that goes into more detail. But I think the worst of it is now past us. With the success of Half-Life Alyx and rumors of another Half-Life game upon us, things are certainly looking up more than they were 7 years ago. Even if the next game isn't the long-awaited third entry in Gordon's story, at least we're actually getting Half-Life content again. Although that does make me wonder, if we do get the long-awaited Half-Life 3, will there be fake leaks of Half-Life 4? Like, will there be a repeat of what happened after episode 2? Hard to say, but I will say this, being a Half-Life fan nowadays, the future is looking bright. Unless Gabe Newell steps down from Valve, then it's over, but until then, enjoy it while you can. And while you're at it, take care of yourself, stay hydrated, hit that subscribe button, and keep huffing that hopium. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I will see you guys next time.